Hey everybody, Track of the Morning to your laddies. We're back with Track of the Day, Trackmania. We picked a good day to come back. EP Diablo on the Discord says, this may be my least favorite daily track so far. Hold on. Difficult track, but doable author. Gold medal 59, author medal 55.242. Take me in here. Admittedly, we have not played a few tracks of the day in a row. It's a whole thing. It's juvenile to even say. I wasn't a huge fan of the last track. Maybe got a little salty in the episode. That salt infected the commenters who got salty. And then I'm reading the comments, and I'm getting salty. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to play Trackmania. If I'm just going to be salty, make bad content, make other people salty, that puts me in an even worse mood. Especially when I got this early access to Spelunky 2 that we could be paying. Oh, GPS! GPS! I just need to go backwards. Just need to go slightly backwards. Okay. Take me back. There we go. But I said, you know what? I mean, we got a lot of things on the go. Something's got to give in order to fit the new Spelunky 2 content in. And it's not free time because there ain't much of it left. So Trackmania Track of the Day might be a little bit unreliable for a bit here, but I'm gonna do my best. I'm also gonna try to desalinate myself as well. And if we could desalinate myself, I would ask that you meet me halfway and desalinate yourselves as well. And then we'll have no salination. Okay, that's a spooky corner. And everyone will get back to Poggin as a result. How about that? Okay, is there a final ice? That they wouldn't. That's not ice, that's concrete. That's concrete. Okay. If that was ice, we would have had words. Honestly, the fact that they did that in 53 seconds, the author is like 55, gives you a good idea of what you can accomplish here. Okay, no, you're doing okay. You should probably, yeah, touch upon that for a sec. Okay, I don't know about that, but you're still going, you're still going. Wheels have thawed. Get yourself going around the horn here. Wheels have not thawed that well. I don't know why are you turning to the left so much? Has my Game Sir controller been infected by some leftward movement goblins? And by left, of course, as you know, I mean right. Don't crash. Maybe it was just the way that it starts, I don't know. Yeah, because I don't feel like I'm being pulled to the right on this anymore. That was weird. I don't know, it must just be the way that it starts. I hope. Now this is where you go skirt. Heavy backwards movement. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it certainly, like, we're doing pretty well here to begin with. It is ice? Might actually be ice. Don't go off, don't go off. Just there you go. Dude, that was like the easiest gold medal of all time. And then to get the author medal, you literally just have to do like 2 seconds better than that. That doesn't seem that complicated. Now I'm not moving to the right. So you know what? I think I did have some kind of weird controller thing going on. Anyway, yeah. So there's no promises that Trackmania is going to be on the same schedule of normality as has been for the last little bit, but we're going to do our best. Times are just busy. And you know, like why are you turning there? Maybe it's time to hook up the PlayStation 4 controller. I'm just watching my wheels. Now I'm getting paranoid that I got like some ghost steering. Yeah, like that, something there felt like it hijacked my steering. Hold on. This is without touching the stick at all. Anyway. I am still having fun with Trackmania. It's just, here's the thing, you know, sometimes my impotent competitive impulses get the better of me on these tracks, and I find myself frustrated because I'm still trying to be goal-oriented. Like, I feel like that turn should have been very doable. When I shouldn't really be concerned about that. Instead, should just be driving. But every series kind of gets there after a certain point. You know, it's the circle of life on YouTube. you know, at first everyone's like, Pog, this is awesome. And then after that, it's your job as a content creator to keep the Pogs flowing. Because people can very easily get sucked into, like, the mindset. It's like, why'd you do this? This was unwatchable. I was in physical pain watching this, etc., etc. Just like you might be in physical pain from watching this being borderless windowed right now. I think the update maybe did something there. I'll tell you, I'm very excited for the autumn 2020 tracks to arrive. They arrive in just over 2 weeks. Unfortunately, the timing on that is truly horrendous for me, because also our child is due to arrive in a little under 2 weeks. So I can't promise I'll be getting to those right away, though I will assure you it'll be on my radar at the time. Whether or not I can take it off of my radar and put it, you know, onto my heads-up display, I can't say for certain. We're a second and a half up. I mean, you know what I'm going to say. This is like in author metal territory. And that was an absolutely fantastic way to take that corner. And that's the author medal, which is kind of incredible. So it's just about like the easiest author medal of all time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. No. It's so weird, because like I don't actually find the track like that enjoyable so far. But I still feel the Pog flowing through my veins just as a result of the fact that I got the author. Human mind is a very strange beast, wouldn't you say? Okay, you can definitely improve upon that previous time. Just exit safely. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I do have a weird little like rightward bend in my controller here. Just strange. Good counter steering, I think. Not good counter steering. Like I'm trying to diagnose it. The fact that we got an author medal, even with some potential Joy-Con drift, although it's not a Joy-Con, I suppose, is, you know, it's got me pogged. For sure, I'm pogged as a result. But that was not touching the stick. Something's up with that. Here's a question for you. Do desktop computers typically have, like, Windows 10 computers, they have Bluetooth built in by default? I can always just hook up my PS4 controller. Or because I'm still from the era of like, oh, you need a Bluetooth adapter. But I'm pretty sure that just saying that makes me seem like I'm older than dirt. Hey, I'm from the era where like one of the hottest accessories, one of the accessories you had to have when you bought an original Xbox was the DVD remote. That was $50. People were like, you gotta buy this. It's a different time. So this is not how you do that. I'll tell you that much. And now our wheels are straight again. It's a little goofy. It's like skating, you know, with your right foot forward. In skateboarding. I don't know, figure skating, that might be totally... I guess you'd skate with both feet forward at any given time, but... There's a lot of weird accessories. See, that was not touching anything, dude. There's a lot of weird accessories in video games back in the day. I've told this story before, but when I bought my PS2 after 8th grade, you know, you could buy the Sony memory card. The Sony memory card, though, is like $50. But you could get like a Playco memory card or something like that. Maybe that's just normal. I don't know. And it was like $35, so you save $15. What's the downside? Well, actually, this is when I bought my PS, or at some point with my PS1, I think, now that I think about it. You had to insert the memory card, and then it also came with like a proprietary little disc. I know what I said, little disc. So you would start up the PlayStation with the disc for the memory card in it, and then it would load the save data that's on the memory card that's plugged in. You would choose the game you wanted, so you'd be like Final Fantasy VII, and you'd choose the save, and then you would open the disk drive, pull out the memory card CD and very quickly insert the CD of the game you actually wanted to play. Very weird setup. Honestly, even as a child, I was like, I wish I just spent the extra 15 bucks. Not my finest move there. And of course, everybody had one busted controller, right? Everybody had one controller that was like, oh, player 1 gets the DualShock. Player 2 has to live with the Mad Cats with like the fans built into the handles for gamer sweat. I didn't have one of those. I always wanted one. Good. Yeah, turn your wheels completely to the side for no reason. I'm almost wondering... I know what we gotta do. We just gotta put a little bit more lean into it. I'm almost wondering if... it's not because, like, the track is going up or something. I don't know, man. We'll see when we have the NLSS today, because when we play golf, it's gonna very quickly make my analog sticks issues more apparent, but... I mean, gaming was weird back then. I had a subscription to official PlayStation magazine as a child. I remember in one of the demo discs, there was an ad for, like, Winter Fresh gum. And I watched that ad, like, 100 times. Because I was so enamored with the fact that you could have, like, a video on CD. I was like, oh my god, this is the future. On-demand advertisements. Kids these days don't even know how good they got it. They got their freaking ad block. They're so sick of ads. Back in, like, 1998... the fact that you could have a demo disc with an advertisement on it, you would willingly watch the ad just to be like, oh my god, moving pictures? Not a good performance on that one either. We've come a long way. Not to say there aren't some goofy accessories, but definitely come a long way. Okay, clipped your wheels a little bit, that's fine. So I am using like a third-party controller, by the way, but that's because when I went to buy, well, actually my wife bought it for me, but when she went to buy like a replacement controller for me back at the start of the pandemic, on Amazon Canada, they were all sold out of Microsoft controllers. I gotta say, like, this one's been pretty reliable. I'm hopeful that maybe it's just like a Trackmania calibration issue. It just feels like slightly wrong. So I'm very thankful we have an easy author metal today to make it a little easier to stomach. Okay, what about... See, I think... good countersteer, brother. Is actually like a... Oh, but don't hit... Okay, you're fine, you're fine. It's actually like a really, really good run here. We know what we want to see here. You want to go a little lower? Yeah, that's fine. I wish we didn't get the airtime, but that's okay. We made it. Still cut off 3/10. We are pretty early today. Like, and the track's been live for like 4 hours. So we probably won't run to try to get like a perfect performance. But one piece of feedback that I stand by, I actually think what leads to more frustration than anything else, and I want to be clear because it's going to sound like I'm blaming other people, but it's my fault. Going for the best ghosts in the egg carton, originally for me it was like kind of a way to do a little fan service, right? I could be like, oh, you know, as kind of a thank you for being a part of the Discord, you know, I can learn from you as well, so it's not totally like selfless, but you know, you might see your replay up in lights on the Trackmania Track of the Day segment, but I think I don't have the skills to necessarily match those ghosts. So turning those ghosts on early is actually like, I think is unpogged. I think it leads to potential despair. So I don't know. That felt pretty good to me, but obviously that one car is doing some pretty amazing stuff there. I think we got a great lap going here. You know what to do. Lost more speed than I would have liked to have lost there. That's okay. Dude, we cut off another 0.6. That's pretty good. We could do even better than that, though. All right, top 8 BC. not worried about it anymore. I'm not worried about being first in British Columbia. I'm just worried about having a good time. And honestly, I'm surprised by how much I am actually having a good time on the track. You know what I like about it? I mean, first off, absence always makes the heart grow fonder. But secondly, like, it's really not, at least at my level right here, it doesn't seem that technical. On top of being not that technical, very wide open spaces, as the Dixie chick said, room to make a big mistake. And pretty forgiving, even though we've had to restart a bunch. But I honestly, I mean, if you're gonna make me say it, then just say it, dude. I like it because it's easy. And you know what? I stand by that. I'll live with it. These guys do appear to be going a little wider here. Another common complaint: you should learn more from the ghosts. I don't disagree, but I will also say to you, who are these ghosts? Sorry, I don't know them. You know what makes these ghosts special? I don't know about this. I think we lost all of our traction. Alright, well, maybe we should pay more attention to the ghosts, because none of the ghosts go backwards through that section, so I'd say it's probably advisable to avoid doing that. Okay, this is very bad. By the way, if you're like, I can't believe NL doesn't see why people wouldn't like this track. Oh, I see. I'm driving on the reason that people don't like this to begin with, and then they're probably not a big fan of that right there, and then you don't even land on concrete, you land on dirt, and then you're like, it's just kind of like a little snooze. I don't know, man. Maybe my tastes are unconventional, but I'm enjoying my time here. So you should minimize your airtime there. I think all these guys going high on that are definitely wrong. That's my take on it. And you know, I feel like I can say that. We're only 1/10 off of the top spot in our current cohort. There you go. You're keeping pace. That felt a little bit violent, but you know what? We can still hang. Being back a little early. Okay, well, 2 wheels going off the side. Maybe a little bit less intrigued. Okay, there you go. Just stick it. If you could hold 2 wheels on the concrete, that's probably the best. But yeah, I don't mind this track at all. It's good to be back, honestly. Again, you know, it's one of those things. I have to vent my own personal frustrations. You know, because there were like 3 days without Trackmania videos, and there were a lot of people that were like, you know how NL gets. He just cancels things without warning. And I'm like, yeah, like 7 years ago. I'm a changed man now. You know, what have I canceled without communicating to the audience recently? It's nothing. You know, the series have to end at some point in order to get some new blood. You know, we could have kept that at full speed. That hurt. But you know what? Don't matter. There's another 3/10 cut off the top. So you know, inevitably, Trackmania, it's not gonna run forever. However, you know, the fact that we were away... Sucks! Let's go. The fact that we were away for a few days, you know, take it as less of like, is this series... I mean, by the way, one of the days that we were away, I was frustrated. I'll give you that one. The next day is my, you know, the track of the day that comes out on my day off. And then the next day, you know, I was insanely busy and also, like, got access to Spelunky too, and I had to get some content made for that. So... it's like, and then again, on Friday, we also had Twitch Rivals. Like, it's not like I was just sitting there with, you know, my hands, you know, up my, you know what, doing nothing. Like, there's all the time that it takes to make something comes from something else. So I just ask for mercy and understanding. But yeah, one of the days I was like, screw this, for sure. Okay, just get out of that. Okay. And that's only human, you know? I've been on the internet a long time. I don't ever expect, like, well, you know, there's a couple of different things. A lot of the comments were... I mean, I'm trying to toe the line here. Like, I'm trying to be fair to all parties involved. A lot of the comments were constructive criticism, maybe phrased in a way that could have been nicer. But is also, you know, people are like... you know, you should just learn to take it. You're like, yeah, I mean, I do take it, but at the same time, you should also learn to not be offended when the content creator goes like, hey, that comment that you wrote, like, made me feel bad, you know? is one of those classic situations where you're like, you know, oh, sorry if you were hurt by it, but that wasn't my intention. My intention was to make a joke at your expense as a result of the frustration that I had when you criticized the video game track. Now that we got that completely out of our way... Oh no, this is not a good counter steer. We can get back to civility, but you know what happens sometimes? Sometimes you just get a little annoyed, and it's better to take the time off, I think, than to force it. Kate, the bagel was delicious. It was fantastic. It was the hardest bagel to slice in my entire life. As a result of the thinness of the ring, but the flavor, I didn't even toast it. That's how you know a bagel's good. When you don't even toast it, the flavor is so good. Anyway, we're not talking about bagels, but you know, maybe the bagel's a metaphor. Sorry, I pronounced it in a humorous fashion. Okay, heavy counter steer. That's obviously like not the vector you're looking for. But yeah, that's where I'm at with Trackmania. I mean, it happens with it. There was a period of like years where that's what Isaac was like. Now everybody's like, I'm just here for the banter. But there were years where I would wake, and I was posting like 4 episodes a day sometimes. You wake up to like 1,000 comments that are like, you know, sometimes constructive criticism about the game, and sometimes like you make a joke that people don't realize is a joke, and they're like, do you really think that Come Together was written by Justin Bieber? I hate being a part of this generation. That's an Aerosmith song. You're like, you know, yeah, I know, that was the joke. But now, Isaac, you know, we've gotten to the level that it's just like Pog City. Monster Train gets like that sometimes. When it came back, people were like, Pog City. And now that it's back, people are like, hey, good win, but just so you know, I literally tore my hair out when you did this. And you're like, okay, you know, I can live with that. I can do my best to improve upon that in the future. Although I will also say, and you know, all I can really do is defend myself. But, you know, my history with, and backseating's fine. But my history with like backseating on YouTube is that people will tell you, well, if you just did the things that were backseated, then you wouldn't get backseated. But then all it does is it causes like a backseat arms race where people are like, hey, right trigger is go. And you're like, good intel. I'll stop complaining now. And then people are like, well, LTs break. And then, you know, eventually they become like really good, or at least pretty good, and then the backseating just becomes incredibly minute stuff that, in my opinion, people blow out of proportion. Not to say that's what happened in the last video. I'm just suggesting that's been historically that's been the backseat curve that I've seen. It's natural, you know. Human beings, they crave progress and motion. Okay, no little airtime, limited air, unlimited airtime. What if you just do this then? Oh baby, I think we got off 4/10 just by going full speed there. That's pretty good. Top 6 BC. Like I don't mind our current position, especially because we beat Sox, which is really like my principal goal day after day. But yeah, so I mean, I'm not naive enough to think like, oh, you made the streamer feel bad. Now I'm not gonna like, you know, I'll never do it again. Like, that's not the history of discourse on the internet in my experience. However, I think it's worth pointing out. I mean, Dan and I talk about it now and then, too. I don't think too much was, like, over the top. And I think as a content creator, you do yourself a disservice by only focusing on, like, the absolute worst comments and then thinking, like, that's how it happened. You take the worst comment and you extrapolate it, and you're like, oh, well, if one person said this, like, you know, dozens of people must be thinking it, and then everyone hates it, even though it's got like 97% likes to dislikes or whatever. But you know, there's some stuff that's obviously over the line, like the comment that was like, you know, he forgets so much, he must have Alzheimer's. That's pretty bad. Like, trust me, I know you're like, it's a joke, and I'm like, I get it, it's not that complex, but at the same time, it's, you know, pretty substantially over the line. But then a lot of the stuff was just like people I know, they get wrapped up in it. You know, you see other stuff like that in the comments section, you add in your own. It becomes kind of an arms race of cynicism. That was a great lap, dude. Top 17 in Canada? I mean, it's still... Again, it's only been going for like 4 hours, but I'm pretty impressed with myself. I don't know if we're going to beat that. We might want to cut and run a little bit on the earlier side today. But, you know, all I can do, and Dan and I have talked about this on Check the Wire. Again, I don't think it was that bad to begin with. But, you know, people will tell you, like, oh, don't even give that kind of stuff attention because the attention, you know, that's what they want. I really don't think that's the case. I feel like there's an abundance of people who actually want to be nice and would feel bad knowing that their comments made the person whose content they're watching feel bad. So I give those people the benefit of the doubt, rather than just being, like, lumping everybody into the, like, Lamau, don't feed the trolls camp, which I think a lot of people do themselves a disservice by doing. So we gotta, I don't know what we do there to minimize the time up the wall, because you probably don't want to lay off the throttle. Maybe we initiate the counter steer, like, much earlier. Getting some good consistency, though. Like that, the finish on this course is so much better than it used to be. You don't take the corner. You imagine the corner is actually just a straightaway and kind of drive it like thusly. But so anyway, those are my thoughts. You know, I'll do my best to remember when I reply to comments so that, you know, as a human being reading them, I could be a little less snarky. I wouldn't disagree. But you gotta remember when you're making the comments, there's a human being reading them as well. And you know, this one is over the top, I'll admit. But you gotta remember this human being could also be recording one of the most hotly anticipated games of 2020 early in advance. Not saying I don't have a lot of love for the Trackmania community. I'm just saying, you know, I'm particularly enjoying doing really well on this course, but we're also, it's the season of the Spelunky right now. And we're in that honeymoon period for Spelunky too, that will eventually end. But right now, everyone's like, Pog! No matter what happens, they're like, this is the poggiest Pog that's ever pogged. Okay, you gotta minimize the airtime. That's like a free 100th or so that we're just throwing away. We'll probably let this one go for another few minutes. It doesn't seem like we're gonna get too much out of making this like a, you know, 45-minute long episode. I'd rather, you know, leave on a super positive note. Rather leave with a smile on my face, and it's kind of the perfect situation because we don't have any speed there. We're leaving with a smile on our face, but also, like, you know, a good ranking. Which usually when I leave with a good ranking, it might seem counterintuitive, but I usually do not have a smile on my face because I'm like, I just spent an hour trying to absolutely perfect this and yada yada. But I think that, you know, we got like the perfect storm here. It is a longer track for sure. I'm gonna honestly, I know this seems a little contrarian. I would say today's track is like a 6. Not insanely fun, but like pretty low key, pretty casual. I'm having a good time with it. And very, I feel like people are gonna take issue with this, but very pleasant. Like, I'm having a decent amount of fun here. Now, there's some problems. This section and the other big dirt corner, you know, not really that inspired, I suppose. And, you know, the ice corner, you know, everybody's an ice critic. There's no doubt about that. Including myself. Like, this doesn't seem like the way we wanted to roll that, but here we are. Nonetheless, there we go. I kind of like it. I don't have any major problems with today's track. There was a great comment in the Discord, which was, if NL chooses to play this one, this could be the nail in the coffin for the series. Like, somehow, you know, Trackmania's gods have smiled upon us. We find ourselves having a pretty good time today, but we're gonna quit while we're ahead for sure. I'm overjoyed with today's ranking. So what's the perfect storm? Easy author medal. Also, an icy series of elements, which will mean that a lot of people like won't even attempt to do anything after they get the gold or the author. which gives us a better chance of performing relatively well in the rankings. Combine that with the fact that I really think, because I've done so many of the ice tracks, and I wouldn't call myself a master of ice, but I've at least, you know, done my time. I feel like, compared to the average Trackmania driver, I'm a little bit more, like, well-versed in the mechanics of the frozen liquid. I think if you add all that together, you got a little, you got a pog-rich recipe. Oh, we were right in there, too. It's just, we needed to not screw up the final corner. That's all right, though. You can tell I got a smile on my face. It's good to be back. So again, you know, as we get ready for some maybe closing notes, I'm gonna endeavor. I'm gonna really, actually give it my honest try to be as consistent as possible with Trackmania. But I ask for your understanding as well as we navigate that. And I'm happy to be back. That's basically all there is to it. I lost a ton of speed, but it might not be the end of the world. Like, that was like an actual ton of speed. But then this, way too much airtime, brother. But look at the acceleration at the bottom. Goodbye. All right, let's give it one more college try. We also need to change the culture of the Trackmania videos to stop thinking that 30 minutes is a short video. That's on me. You know, it's way too easy to let him balloon up to like 90 minutes. Then people start to think like 90 minutes is a little long, but 40 minutes is like way too short. I gotta rein in those expectations as well. We didn't slow down. Again, I think we gotta counter steer that harder. We're losing like way too much in there. But there's still a chance. If you believe there's a chance, there's a chance. Minimal airtime. We're like a second off. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. But I'm very pleased. Oh, I saved my replay even. That's how pleased I was. Pleased with our performance today. Top 2 BC for the time being, which seems hilarious, but that'll change when the good players get home from school. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!